So here's one that's probably going to ruffle a few feathers. You've probably heard of something called the yes ladder. That thing where you stack a bunch of easy, yes questions. So by the time you ask someone to sign up, they're more likely to say yes and join. Sounds clever, right? Here's the thing. It's proven to be outdated and honestly, it's a bit manipulative. Today, I want to tell you exactly why I don't use it and what I use instead. Hey everyone, welcome back. Yeah, today's episode may be a little bit controversial. If you've ever been told to use the yes ladder or felt a bit weird using it in the field, you're totally not alone. Today I want to really break down why I left using this tactic behind, and I want to share a simple shift that I've used that I think leads to better conversations, better signups, and longer term support. So the yes ladder is a tactic that's been around for decades. The idea, get someone to say yes early and often, so when you go in for the big ask, they're more likely to keep that pattern going and say yes. But here's the problem. People today are more aware than ever. They can feel when they're being led. They can tell when a conversation is just a funnel. And let's be real, it feels like a trap. Do children deserve to get an education? Yes. Do you care about helping others? Yes. Do you like doing good things? Yes. Then sign up now. Now that's not a dialogue, that's a setup. And while this isn't an overtly high pressure tactic, when someone signs up because they felt boxed in or because they felt maybe that they ought to sign up because it's the right thing to do, but they haven't really done it because they truly care or felt inspired to do it, they aren't going to be the long-lasting members that we really want to be creating. So what can you do to more ethically get long-lasting members? Well, this is where things get interesting and kind of counterintuitive. So the psychological research shows that people feel much safer and more in control when they say no. It signals, I'm not being pushed, I'm making a choice. Chris Voss, and I love his content, he's an ex-FBI hostage negotiator, and now he's sort of a sales and negotiation expert. And he talks about this all the time. He trains people to use what he calls no questions. Questions that elicit a no, because people are much more likely and feel much safer, and it feels much easier for people to say no than it does for them to say yes. Yes kind of requires an openness to receiving, to accepting. No feels like we're protecting and we're drawing a boundary, right? So when someone uses no, they feel safe. And it actually opens them up more, not less. It flips that dynamic. Instead of chasing a yes, you're kind of holding space for real decision making. So what do you do instead? Well, I think this is really about asking better questions. This is not just about replacing all your yes questions with no questions and suddenly it's going to work magic. I think you certainly can. I'll give you some examples of some great no questions that I like to use in a minute. But using better questions and questions that give people permission to say no while still moving things forward are really, really fantastic. So here are a few examples of my favorite no-oriented questions. There are different contexts for using some of these questions. Some I use in rapport, some I use in my pitch, some I use in a call to action or even objection handling. So here they are. Do you mind if I tell you why I got involved in this? Is it crazy to think that we all want a world like that? Would it be unreasonable to ask for your help today? Would now be the worst time to take action? Would you mind sharing what's holding you back? Is there any reason this wouldn't be a good fit for you right now? Would you be against starting with something small? Is there anything stopping you from being a part of the solution? So of course, this doesn't mean that people will always respond with a no, but none of these puts pressure on the person, but they all invite reflection, honesty, and choice. They don't trap, they open. So here's the challenge. I'm not saying you should throw out the yes ladder, but start using questions that make space for real answers. Practice them. Notice how it changes the feel of your conversations. You know, we're not here to trap people into saying yes. We're here to offer something meaningful and let them step into it fully because they want to make a difference. So you're probably not all going to agree with my perspective on this. And honestly, that's fine. Actually, it's better than fine. It's great. I think we're all allowed to see things differently. My role here isn't to tell you that it's wrong or that you shouldn't use it. If you love it, go for it. I'm not saying that you're unethical as a fundraiser or as a person, but what I am doing maybe is inviting you to try something new, something different, and see how it feels. If you do have some comments, have some thoughts to share, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. You know, give this video a like or subscribe if you've enjoyed this content. And as always, stay inspired and keep fundraising.